welcome back. Next game we're going to talk about is Falcons and the Eagles. Of course, no Michael Vick. This would have been a good game for him to showcase his, get a little bit of revenge on his old team. But and a lot of people picked the Falcons in this game. In fact, this was the median game. 20 players picked Atlanta. This is the one game that Jason Oscar hit on the head. But the thing that came out of this game, Kevin Cobb looked pretty impressive. 3 touchdowns, 300 yards passing, and he lost to Sean Jackson in the first half. So just want to get you guys thoughts on this game. Anybody checked it out?
Yeah, I'll check. Oh, go ahead, dude.
I'm just glad Philly won, because if Philly hadn't won, my picks would have been really sad. That was one of the few early games I got right. A lot of early games didn't go my way.
Yeah, I did bad on early games too.
Yeah, the early games I got Pittsburgh by 21.
Everybody got that one except Nosco.
It was like I got Pittsburgh by 21. They won by 18. So
okay.
But the Philly game, I mean,
what are your thoughts on the actual game, Sean?
Like, the thing with the game was just how impressive Kevin Cobb was. Everybody was writing him off. It was just clearly, Michael Vick, he could never lose his job. But Kevin Cobb looked pretty good. And Atlanta secondary was kind of exposed in that game.
Yeah.
And even with Deshaun Jackson getting hurt early, they just still kept coming at him throughout the whole game. Macklin had a good game. Selleck had a good game. LaShawn McCoy had a good game. They just couldn't stop their offense.
The next question is, who should be a starting quarterback then with Vick's healthy? Do they go back to Cobb or does he go back to Vick?
Well, if it was me, I would stick with Cobb because he's younger, and your future is with him. It's like in this situation, it had to be like a business situation, a business decision. You got to go with the guy that that's younger, that'll be there for a longer period of time.
That's been. You look at all the NFL analysts. That's what most of them say too. But all the players kind of say Vick, of course, because it's
for now.
Yeah, because the players say that because a lot of them probably boys with them, so they know Vick more than they know Cobb, so of course they go say that. The next key game on the schedule was Miami at Green Bay. This is a key game in the picks as well. 23-20 was the score. 16 players picked Miami. There were 11 10-point bonus hits. But once again, the Packers controlled this game throughout, like they did in the other 2 losses.
They lost again in
and
overtime.
they lost it down the stretch late. I'm going to give them a little excuse. I think that's mainly because of the injuries. They got so many injuries, and I think they just wore out in the second half. But the thing that I didn't realize that came out of this game, Aaron Rodgers is 3-10 in his career in close games decided by 7 points or less, including the playoffs. So I didn't see this game. Did you guys check it out?
Some of it. I know Greg Jennings had a good game. But, yeah, like you said, they started off pretty good early. They couldn't finish. Clay Matthews' injury was huge, too. And B.J. Rahi, he wasn't 100% either. So, yeah, it was a combination of injuries. And
well, that question is, a lot of people thought Aaron Rodgers was doing okay, coming in as a guy coming after Brett Favre. But does that record indicate, they can't count on Rodgers in the playoffs? What does that stat mean? Does it mean nothing, or should we shake it off? What does it mean?
It means he's still growing. Aaron Rodgers last year in the playoffs got victimized because his line fell apart and let some guy through, and they got the fumble and got the touchdown, and the game was over. But I knew I was gonna get the Cardinals in here on the bye week. But it's just he's young and he's growing up.
All right.
He's still there. He's still their guy,
All right, next key game on the schedule was St. Louis at San Diego. San Diego at St. Louis. St. Louis won 20-17. Only 7 players picked the Rams. And this is another game that Jason Nosco hit on the head. Once again, this is no surprise. The Chargers off to a slow 2-4 start. But is this year different? Can they recover from this one, or is this Charger team just no good?
They're in the AFC West, so they got a chance. And Vincent Jackson's coming back. You know, Marcus McNeil. He should be back if he isn't already. They still got the most talent in the division. I still can see them turning it around.
Well, those guys gonna actually play. I mean, I know they're gonna be back on the roster, but are they gonna actually play them though? From what I'm hearing, I mean, McNeil may play, but I'm hearing they still might not play Vincent Jackson.
The Antonio Gates injury, it depends on how serious that is. I guess
Gates hurt too?
Yeah,
Gates
yeah,
got hurt.
yeah.
That's why they lost. Oh, you didn't know that?
Gates, and I got what's his name too from Indianapolis?
Dallas Clark.
Dallas Clark.
Oh yeah, he's out indefinitely too. But they don't think it's too serious because
he's questionable for
yeah.
this game, ain't he?
Yeah. They don't think it's too serious yet, but I mean we won't know until this weekend.
So you guys think San Diego still in it because of the division?
Yeah,
partially because.
But they're not a playoff team though.
They still
go deep.
I just say they can't because of Kansas City's early success, and they've shown that it's not so much a fluke. They're not there, but they're a lot better than what they were. So I still wouldn't sleep on the other teams.
But their biggest problem so far has mainly been special teams because they're actually the defense is rated in the top 12 and the offense is still rated in the top 5. It's been special teams and turnovers and just penalties has been killing them the most. The other thing is out of this game, St. Louis got their 3rd win already. Can we say this is the surprise team of the year?
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely. Their defense is a lot better, and then it's like Sam Bradford is actually doing pretty decent, and you know he got a good back in Stephen Jackson, of course, to take the pressure off. So it's like they're playing inspired ball. I don't know how good, you know what I'm saying, because everyone could sort of see them beating Washington, and I forget who else they beat, and they had a close game with Arizona, but it's like they're playing pretty inspired ball. So I think as the season goes on, we'll see if they're like pretenders or contenders.
All right, next key game on the schedule: Kansas City at Houston. 31 out of 42 picked Houston. There were 12 3-point bonus hits in this one. There were 3 10-point bonus hits. The story of this game: Texans scored 21 points in the 4th quarter, come from behind. Did this game expose Kansas City as a fraud, or is Houston that good?
I think it's just Kansas City isn't. I mean, at least in recent times, they're not a winning team, so they just didn't. Part of it was they didn't know how to play to win. Going back to your boy, what's his name, Herman Edwards. And then the other thing is Houston just showed some grit. You know what I'm saying? They made the comeback, which is, you know what I'm saying, they got the capability to do that. Yeah,
Houston showed me something out of this game. This is the kind of game they would lose. Usually they'd be the team that blew a 21-point lead last year, and that's twice this year they've done that. And against 2 solid teams, they did it against the Redskins too earlier this year.
Yeah.
The other thing that came out of this game, Adrian Foster couldn't get going again, so now Arian Foster. So now they're back to throwing the ball. The question is Houston's offense, so they're consistent. 1 week they're running the ball a lot, and 1 week they're passing the ball a lot. But it does show that they're capable of winning either way. Mm-hmm. But they can't get that balance in one game though. Next game may have been a game of the day. Ravens went to New England. This game had a lot of hype, a lot of trash talking in this game. Patriots came out on top 23-20. Another key game as far as picks, 18 out of 42 picked the Pats, and there were 7 10-point bonus hits. Deion Branch came back for the Pats, and it's almost like he never left. He was 9 catches, 98 yards. Does this win put New England back in the top 5 as far as top 10s, or still yet to be determined?
Well, like I just say real quick, like the story that I heard was that Flacco was mad at the OC because he felt like they're playing not to lose instead of playing to win, and he felt they had some opportunities to put them away, but like, you know what I'm saying, by playing not to lose, they let Baltimore come back, and I mean they let the Patriots come back and win it. So
I would agree with that too.
Because Cameron's a retard.
Because they did the same. That's how they lost the other game. Who did they lose to?
They lost in the playoffs like that.
No, I'm talking about Baltimore lost 2 games this year. Who was it?
Cincinnati. They lost to Cincinnati.
Yeah,
okay.
They did the same thing in Cincinnati game. They had the lead, and they're being too conservative. So is that show they don't trust Flacco? Or is that showing?
Just because Cameron's knuckleheaded. Basically, it's like they don't want to test the limits of their offense. It's like you'd rather do that now in week 6, than do it in the playoffs.
I think that's just Cameron's style. He has a conservative philosophy, so I think if they want to open it up, they might have to look for another offensive coordinator, because that's the way he's going to roll.
All right, the next game was I guess we can call it the Desperate Bowl, or whatever you want to call it.
Minnesota, San Francisco. Oh,
Minnesota, Dallas. Both teams came in at 1-3. We talked about it last week. The loser will be 1-4, and not totally done, but in trouble, especially for Dallas' sake, because the way the division's looking. But Minnesota, even with a loss, probably still have been okay. The Vikings came out on top in this one. This is another key game for picks. 29-42 picked the Vikings. They're 11-10-point bonuses. Damn. Vikings offense struggled again, but they found a way to win thanks to Percy Harvin.
Yeah. Told Percy I'd do this.
I don't know if you guys saw this game, but what did your take on this game?
Dallas, they just never learn, especially with the penalties.
Yeah. The very first touchdown I saw it. I think Roy Williams caught the touchdown through the Texas sign. Miles Austin runs down the field and leapfrogs.
That wasn't what the flag was.
Absolutely.
That's not what the flag was for.
What the flag was for.
Because the other, what's it, Sam Hurd? You can't do choreograph celebrations. They're gonna flag that. And Sam Hurd came over and did the hook 'em horns next to him too, and that's what they flagged it for. It wasn't for Miles Austin, because Miles Austin was spontaneous.
Right.
What's the name? Didn't know it. Who got the touchdown? Williams didn't know it. Well, Sam Hurd came over with Williams and did that with him. So they said it was choreographed. That's what the flag was for.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's what the flag was for. They found that out later. Matter of fact, on Mike in the morning, Golick he had just defaced Miles Austin. He had just totally dogged him because of that. Cause he found out later on that the penalty wasn't on Miles Austin. He had to call him. He called him up on the phone and apologized to him.
But Sam Hurd went to Northern Illinois.
Right. That's my next point. That was my next point. I was about to say that. Sam Hurd didn't even go to Texas.
He's from Texas, though.
Still, man,
But that I guess he got
representing the MAC.
I would say, I guess that's how good a MAC education is. Oh.
But once again, I think this still a reflection of Wade Phillips. I mean, and as far as and how he, but he said last week, I'm glad my team shows emotion. But, he doesn't criticize them for making the penalties. He just applauds them.
I heard Jerry Jones got into him this week, too.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard.
Honestly, I think that they need to fire Jason Garrett before
they need to fire both of them. But they need to fire both of them bums.
I mean, this is true. But Jason Garrett should get fired first. Because a lot of the ineptitude that Dallas Cowboys have, I mean, look at some of the lineups they've had. Look at some of the talent they have on that sideline.
Well, think about this. They're in the top 5 in both offense and defense, but you go 1-4. Explain that. There's got to be penalties. Penalties and these stupid turnovers.
And which side of the ball gets the most penalties usually?
Yeah. Well, most of them have been on offense.
Exactly.
Yeah, most of them been on offense. And then not only that, but then their special teams have been bad. Let Percy Harvin run another one back.
Well, this season.
You mean their special ed teams?
This season is ending this week when they lose to the Giants anyway. So.
Well, we'll talk about that later, but I'll get my pick on that one later.
Yeah, I think Roman's going to have another one of his 350-yard losing specials.
All right, we'll take a break, and then we're going to get back, and we're going to talk about a topic that has been pretty controversial around the NFL right now. We talked about it a little bit earlier, and that's the head hunting. So we're going to talk about that for a bit. Just want to get everybody's opinions on that when we return.